Alright. Hey guys, and today I am going to be reacting to a death battle between Omni-Man from Invincible and Homelander from The Boys. So I'm pretty excited to watch this because like these two characters are like basically like the evil Superman of their own series. And I know a good amount, a decent amount about Omni-Man and Homelander because Omni-Man, he's the father of Invincible, the husband of Debbie Grayson. He is a Viltrumite who basically what Viltrumites are basically they're like the Kryptonians. If the Kryptonians were more ruthless and brutal. And I know, like, he has, like, super strength, super speed, like, super durability. And he can fly, obviously, like Superman. And, like, Viltrumites have, like, really overpowered healing factors. And, like, basically, like, Viltrumite, and, like, they're, like, really old. Like, I heard, like, I don't know how old Omni-Man is specifically, but he's, like, hundreds and thousands years old. And, like, basically, like, for Viltrumites, like, the slower... Like, the older a Viltrumite gets, basically the slower they age. And for Homelander, yeah, I kind of hate Homelander, but he's a great character, really great character, but he's such a dick, man. He's such a man-child, psychopathic man-child, basically a psychopathic evil, like, Superman. He also has, like, super strength, super speed, durability, flight, and he also has heat vision like Superman. I don't recall Omni-Man really having heat vision, but... In terms of who I think is going to win, I mean, before watching the analysis, I kind of think Omni-Man's going to win because... Omni-Man's like really old, like he's been like hundreds and thousands of years of combat experience, and I feel like in the show, like Omni-Man is basically fighting his own people who are just as strong as him. Basically, there was like one of the episodes, there was like in season 1, there was like an episode where Omni-Man literally fights. There was a battle royale, and then like to determine who will be the strongest 50%. So that meant that 50% of the population had to die. And, like, Omni-Man's literally part of that 50%. And Omni-Man literally has more experience fighting against other people who are basically just as strong as him. And meanwhile, Homelander, I feel like there's, like, nothing that's, like, strong as Homelander in the world of The Boys. Other than, like, Soldier Boy. I know more about the TV shows than I do about the comics. But I know decent amount about the comics. But I don't want to say anything related to the comics. Because there's probably going to be... I don't want to spoil people who haven't watched either of these series. Or read either of these series. But I'm pretty sure this episode's going to spoil it. But I'm not really... I don't think it's a big deal. So I'll go with Omni-Man for now. So...
This episode of Death Battle is sponsored by BetterHelp and Mint Mobile.
Let's raise the volume a little bit. Alright, let's go.
Omni-Man, the invincible champion from planet Viltrum. Homelander, the world's greatest superhero. Brought to you by Vought International.
Yeah.
Few heroes have stood the test of time with more aplomb than the very first.
This analysis
Superman.
will examine both comics,
Power did,
avoiding
in
going
fact,
to specific details
absolutely.
across the shows.
Answer,
Okay.
We're all screwed. He's Wiz and I'm
Okay, so they are going to conclude the comic speech, but they said they're not going to spoil the story. Okay, good.
Death battle. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. No, it's Omni-Man.
Nice.
And
Originally Superman.
Second, huh? Not really. His name is in the title of the video.
That's a good point. His title is...
For mistaking Nolan Grayson for his classic comic inspiration.
He doesn't even look like him.
That sexy mustache that he's not afraid to hide with terrible CGI.
Wow, you really had to roast Henry Cavill like that.
As its superpowered alien defender.
Viltrumite.
And spread the enlightenment of his utopia.
Really wants his son to think.
Superhero alter ego Omni-Man.
Think, Mark,
was no one
think!
better suited to the task. He saved the world countless times. Worked
Yep.
alongside the Guardians of the Globe.
Guardians of the
and
Globe.
even married and had a son, Mark.
Mark Grayson is his
Couldn't
real
be
name.
better. Until Mark inherited his dad's Viltrumite powers. That's when Mark found out that his dad was a stinking...
Literally killed the Guardians of the Globe.
Turns out, Viltrum wasn't exactly the peaceful utopia Nolan promised.
Yeah, what I said.
Population, murdering billions
Brutal
of
and violent
until only the strongest
Kryptonians
left, united
is my
by a
best
common purpose. This Viltrumite
description.
empire then went on to conquer planet after planet in their home galaxy, murdering any who dared oppose them. So just scratch that whole peaceful part entirely.
Literally.
And turns out Omni-Man was here to do that same thing to Earth. Sorry, Mark. Your dad's a dick.
Literally, he is a dick.
Easily the most powerful being on the entire planet.
Yep.
Imagine combining the raw power of a Kryptonian and the bloodlust of a Saiyan, and what you get is basically a Viltrumite. Due to their unique
It's a pretty accurate description.
Viltrumites are composed of smart atoms that they can manipulate to achieve superhuman feats, like holding their breath for weeks on end by drawing more energy from the oxygen inside them. Kinda reminds me of that whole bioelectric aura thing Superman has.
Oh, right.
Basically how
Bioelectric
comic writers
aura.
bullshit
Superman
a
does have
sciencey
it.
explanation for his powers. Except smart atoms make even less sense. How can atomic structure be designated by your DNA? DNA is made of atoms. It's completely nonsensical biological hogwash that I cannot stand.
I mean, it is comics.
Fans, I'm calling this debunked.
Ooh.
Viltrumites can fly,
So they're
withstand
healing,
near-absolute zero
right.
temperatures, and even possess insane healing factors.
Yeah, very
It's
insane
like
healing
getting punched
factors.
through the stomach, having your guts ripped out, or having your face smashed up in a tomato
Yeah,
soup. I don't mean to
basically.
exaggerate, but Viltrumites in this series get fucked up and somehow survive. However, too much trauma to the brain or heart can overtax their healing factors, and intense heat can be especially damaging.
Intense
Even the
heat.
most powerful Viltrumites can be killed by extended baths in the spicy hot plasma of a star. And because of their abilities, their inner ear vestibular system is far more sensitive than regular humans. Intense sonic pressure will disrupt their fragile equilibrium.
Right,
and
yeah,
prevent them
their
from flying.
inner
So,
ears
pushing themselves to their
are very
physical limits
sensitive.
only ends up making them way stronger. And considering Nolan has been alive and planet conquering for thousands of years, he's easily one of the toughest Viltrumites.
Literally.
Like, other aliens attacking him will literally splatter their bodies against him. But Mark didn't inherit everything from his dad.
No, he didn't. Like, Mark's a very nice person, unlike his father.
Pathetic human values like love and compassion and not brutally murdering the
Yeah,
shit out of everyone you see
basically,
like a maniac.
Nolan did all of
Difficult
those
for Nolan to
things.
relate to his kid. Such as when these aliens invaded Earth. Mark tried his best to minimize casualties and outsmart his numerically superior foes. Nolan, meanwhile, tackled their leader through the portal.
I love this scene. This is only the first episode.
Annihilating their planet for even daring to take Earth from him. Classic generational divide. Annihilate is underselling it.
Yeah, the Flaxons deserved
so
it.
fast that his body lit their planet's atmosphere on fire, creating massive country-sized explosions. With his own body as
Earth
the
isn't yours to conquer.
Omni-Man has flown across galaxies in only a week, survived punching a hole through a planet, and even
Oh,
deflected
that's
a
pretty
meteor the
strong.
size of
Punching
Texas.
through a planet.
Assuming that means the diameter of the meteor is equivalent to the distance from the top of the Panhandle to the Gulf of Mexico, that would make it 1,300 kilometers wide. And weigh over 4.6 quintillion tons.
That is
At
large.
entry speeds of over 11,000 meters per second, it had hit with enough energy to destroy the moon twice over. So
Woo!
is strong enough to slaughter those who considered him
They
an
fell around
ally,
Earth,
the Guardians
redirected
of the
us,
Globe,
suicide
all to ensure
asteroid,
as seamless a transition to
planet.
the coming Viltrumite rule as possible. Too bad for Nolan, it wouldn't be that easy, because he'd have to go through his son first.
Oh yeah, the final episode of the first season.
Spurred on by the reveal that Nolan
fight
only
between his
his mother
son and
as
him.
a pet, a disposable broodmare. It
Yeah,
took
he
some
literally
tough
called his
Omni-Man to
own
save
wife
the
a pet.
planet. And that's when Mark's real Viltrumite
I
training
hated that.
began. Get it?
Oh right, that train scene.
Yes, we get it. It was a good
Yeah, we
one.
already get the pun, dude.
But if anything, it was Omni-Man that learned a lesson about humanity that day. He may have tried to turn Mark into a Viltrumite, but in reality, as Nolan fled Earth with tears in his eyes, Mark made his father human.
Damn. That is pretty deep when you think about it, because like Nolan literally, like, his original mission was like to have Earth under the rule of the Viltrumites rather than actually like protecting it. And he's basically calling his wife a pet. Yeah, I hated Nolan for what he said. Yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll watch Homelander's analysis in the next part. Yeah, I'm gonna put the stats for what they said here for Nolan, and I'll show it to you guys in the next part.